Taking a trip down into the losers bracket of the CCL regional playoffs, where all of these teams are on their last breath. Hi, everyone. My name is Quinn, better known as Colorblind, joined, as always, by the magnificent Mattman in the booth. We're jumping on in with UBuffalo taking on the Canadore Panthers in the Northeast region. Talk to me, Matt. How we feeling this playoff time, baby?
Hey, it's playoff time in the CCL, and there's no better time in any sport than playoff time, and we're getting into the nitty-gritties. As you said, losers bracket action. Winner moves on. Loser will go home, and it'll be the end of their 2024-2025 CCL season. Let's head right on into the stats here. Mode records between both of these teams. You look at it across the board, you feel like it has to be in the favor of UBuffalo Esports. Yeah. Obviously, 9-5 inside of the hardpoint, 9-7 inside of the hardpoint, 8-6 inside of the S&D, and 7-6 inside of the control. Quinn, on the flip side, not the greatest across the board.
Yeah, brother. I might be colorblind, but I can see a clear trend here. That being said, though, hey, you know, we just said it. It's playoffs for a reason. It's anybody's game. And when you talk about what we have seen recently from these teams, talk about UBuff. They got 3-0'd by Fisher, which that happens. But the thing that's a little bit concerning is they're coming off of a Game 5 versus George Mason University. Now, they get the win. It's a lot closer than they would want it to be, though. On the other side of the coin, Canadore, they lose to Nichols College. 3-0 New Haven, though. So they're coming in a little bit hotter. Obviously, looking at the stats here, this would definitely have to be an upset, Matt. But you're looking at this Canadore team and you're saying, hey, you know what? If there is grounds for an upset potentially, they're coming in hot, as Steve from Minecraft might say. We go into the maps, though. We kick things off pretty fast with a Skyline Hardpoint, Hasi S&D, Vault Control, and then Hacienda will be revisited following a Protocol S&D if we need it, Matt.
And I love that we're starting this off on a Skyline, just two teams banging out, seeing who's going to get that 1-0 lead first. And Quinn, we looked at it across the stats, and you mentioned that UBuffalo would have a little bit of an edge on this on paper. But hey, a wise man once said, especially down in this losers bracket, it's whoever's playing with the most confidence. And a map like Skyline is going to be very telling to the confidence of both of these teams.
Word to prosper there. Nonetheless, you're talking about the momentum coming into this, right? I feel like a Skyline Hardpoint, if Canadore is going to come in here and make the upset, it will be very, very telling, right? Again, coming in with a little bit of momentum, a little bit more moxie maybe than the team that comes in off a loss or off a win, that they may not have necessarily felt too comfortable with. Again, a Game 5, there's cause for concern in any instance there. Nonetheless, UBuff obviously coming in with the better records. They have the opportunity to kind of say, hey, you know what? We might be coming off of that, but we are reared. We are ready to go. Two teams with a lot to prove again as we are in losers round 2. An opportunity, though, to continue that losers bracket run. Have that underdog story that we always love.
Absolutely, and heading into this Skyline Hardpoint Map 1, both of these teams, we talked about confidence, Quinn, and I think that's all going to come from the gunny. We're going to look between both of these teams. Who's going to come out and kind of make a statement here on this Map 1? And again, Quinn, this one could come all the way down to the wire. A beautiful flyover of Skyline. Two teams again, Quinn. Winner moves on. Loser goes home.
Here we go, everything to play for and more. We jump on in with losers round 2, P1 online over towards the Skyline Hardpoint. We will go. Early trades going back and forth as Canadore tasked with the opportunity to flip the map, and with 4 dead in the feed to kick things off. A little bit of map control and credence over towards the middle portion of the map, and they will actually get some split spawn seen out of UBuffalo.
It's going to be a tough read here for the side of Canadore as the kills start to come through. A mixy kill feed, though, as Buffalo takes control of the hill for the moment. Immediately, White Hill time ensues. And again, Quinn, just mixy. Both teams kind of playing for this back P2 side. Canadore doing a good job now at least holding this side of the map.
20 seconds left, and they have flipped the map, so now you just have to maintain. You're also getting some really good time off of P1, and the kills continuing to swing your way early here. UBuffalo looking for their lane on in. Can it be through the kitchen? Swarm, first line of offense, trying to create some separation, trying to create an opportunity for the boys to file their way on in. P2 comes online, but they're going to be absolutely reduced to mincemeat.
Gamer Sauce able to trade back for 2, at least keeps himself alive. A huge positioning towards this back line, but he gets shut down. Now all of UBuff has to reset and repush. The hit from the top side might be good. A couple of kills do come their way. T on that 5 spree as well, though. Early Chow on in, and Swarm able to do the dirty work there. 2 kills in the back pocket, and it'll be UBuff with the control.
Control, how long will they have it is the question. Dark with a good kill on the board. He's just wreaking havoc in the backlines as well, doing the dirty work of a sub, but he's gonna get top roped by Swarm. Still, nonetheless, when you look inwards in the hill, Gonna be a break here, at least for now, out of Canador. Immediately broken right back out of UBuffalo. So we're changing goal guards of this P2. Pretty back and forth. Should be cemented now with UBuffalo getting 3 kills on the board, though, there.
Yeah, it's an early rotation from Canador here inside of the kitchen, and it'll be a couple of shots that go back and forth between both of these players, and back up towards the old hill as UBuffalo holds the scrap. Mixie kills towards the front as Canador looks to hold for this P3 and regain and kind of solidify themselves back in the driver's seat. But again, Buffalo knocking on the door here of a lead change.
8 points separating the teams as P3 comes online. Windy shots there on the top of the skyline, but eventually will center for 2. It's Canador, so they will maintain this map. Creed and still have to deal with the rest of the UBuffalo players floating on the outskirts of the play, and he will. Potential pinch being still set up here by Swarm, and he will find 2, so that's going to be a great break there for UBuffalo. 40 seconds left. Now spawning in the backlines are Canador trying to find their lane in. A little bit of an artificial pincher here potentially developing, though.
Yeah, a couple of kills will go the way of the Buffalo, and they'll be able to create onto the hill. But Cam around from the backside here. He might have gone unnoticed as a couple of kills from Ifty will come true. Torm, though, right back for 2 of his own, trades them out. And Quinn, you're looking up at this scoreboard, or rather this leaderboard right now. Swarm has 13 kills, and we're looking at 9 across the rest of the Buffalo squad.
This is a Swarm masterclass for the boys. It's just a separation of 2 points, but he is doing everything for his squad. Call him Greg Jennings. A rotation over towards his P4 side. Trying to get the shots to land. He absolutely will. Looking for the second one to center. It's just not going to be able to, but this time his team will be able to come in for a little bit of support. Some reprieve is found. P4 coming online. Canador not going to be seen just yet within the hill. Still have some outskirts players, though, that can potentially contend their way on in.
Yeah, but they will be taken up and sat down from the side of Buffalo. Now, from around the backside stairs, Swarm will go. He'll get dated out. Dark's able to find 2, and the rebate might be right back on as it's a 3-piece for the Canador Esports squad. Right into this P4, they will go and continuing to soak this time. You get yourself back into the lead, Quinn. 30 seconds to work with on the hill. Buffalo still time, though, for the rebreak on it.
As mixy as it gets at this stage of a skyline hardpoint, Canador once again with the lead in their pocket. Buffalo, though, they're not going to give it away with it. Out a fight, trying to make their way on forward, but FD with 2 should secure things for the side of Canador. You still have a couple of UBuffalo players with an opportunity to try and at least contest in for the time. Gamersauce does that. Not going to be able to find the kills. It should be Canador collecting the remainder of this time. Going to get a little bit of a lead going here again, as close as it can possibly get, but now a 30-point separation between the 2 squads as P1 comes back online.
And Quinn, the big word having come into this P1, or rather into this map 1, was Canador Esports and the confidence that they've been playing with. And you're seeing it right now. All of these players willing to chow, willing to bait on out. And right now, Buffalo seemingly having a tough time with the presence that Canador keeps creating in this side of this map.
Realistically, you just need somebody to spawn in with Swarm. He's 18 and 10. The rest of his players don't even have 10 kills and are going double, triple negative in some cases. UBuffalo eventually will be able to secure some map pressure. A little bit of credence being bought for them in the middle portion of the map as Swarm presses the issue. We're towards the P2 side of the map. He'll eventually be dealt with. You still have Canador making their way on in towards this P1 side, trying to fight for this contextual time. They'll be able to get back on. 20 seconds left on the board potentially for either of these squads to scoop up.
And that's a big 3 dead in the side for Buffalo as they're going to push the action here forward up into the side of P2. One player to deal with along the outskirts, and Swarm looking for him as well. The ring around the rosy strap, but 2 players will fall. And now Canador Esports, a little bit of credence here from the kitchen side, Quinn.
Oh, UBuffalo getting reduced to ashes, falling like posies. Canador is going to find the rebreak. They're going to find their way on in. 55 seconds over towards this P2 side as it comes online, and Cam is just skeet shooting out here, brother. He is getting them for free. Swarm, first line of offense, trying to make his way on in, trying to have some presence for UBuffalo, is present in the kill feed, but from only him, nobody else is really showing up, Matt.
I mean, Quinn, you said the first line of offense. It's really the only line of offense, it seems, for Buffalo right now. If he's not getting the kills, there's no success that Buffalo is having right now, and it's seemingly showing up in the scoreboard. Canador Esports has just been slowly gaining ahead, hill after hill after hill, and you can see it now, 50-point lead, again getting away to scrap here. Buffalo has to get in and has to get locked in for this P3.
It's just not a sustainable strategy here for Buffalo. You will win the trade battle for an opportunity into this P2 to gain at least a little bit of time. Canador with that cushiony lead, they can already make their way over towards that P3 side. They get justifiable kills to follow it as well. Buffalo trying to create a little bit of a dimension to this play, have Clicks working his way into the back lines, but he might be right on to absolutely perfectly from T, shutting that down. So now a one-dimensional hit needed here for UBuffalo. P3 comes online.
And Gamersauce does able to find 2 and opens this P3 up, but again, the rest of the Canador Esports squad's now spawning out towards this P2 side, trying to have the rebreak back on in. Congestion for now, but it'll be dealt with from Clicks. Now the pressure from the back grass. Swarm gonna go ahead on the chase. Not gonna find the kill, though, as T goes up and over the top. The pistol good for 1, and it'll be Canador Esports with the control of P3 once again.
Candor Esports with the control, but can they maintain it is the question. You have UBuffalo with another opportunity for a pinch play, and you really only have Cam in the hill. He's waiting for his reinforcements to come on in, but they might be a little too late. Clicks with 2 on the board should solidify things for UBuffalo for now. You're already starting to see the rotation as well for Candor as they're trying to chalk things up, head over towards that P4 side. They don't have the good side spawns here either.
No, and you're seeing, though, for Buffalo, particularly Clicks and Gamersauce, they are the 2 players that have started to come alive a little bit towards the back half of this hard point. And Quinn, Buffalo desperately needs them to continue this as you're seeing the success now towards the back line of this P4.
Clicks especially, he is roaring back once 8 and I believe 15, now 17 and 20 on the 6 spree, has been putting in the work, putting in the hours, and they are looking to take what is theirs over towards this P4 side. Swarm, again, just bolstering up, just trying to maintain this first line for his squad. Candor making their way on in. It's going to have to be another one-dimensional hit, though.
Yeah, now from around the backside, FD is already going to be tagged up, and now the hit from the side of the bed, not going to really amount to much, but T finds one, Dark and Cam light it up for 3, and Candor just finds an easy 4 dead. You talked about the one-dimensional side, they go and try to take the time to add a little bit of dimension to it, and Buffalo none the wiser. Still 20 seconds to fight for Quinn, and Buffalo looks like they want back in.
Yeah, they're creeping back in. They have an opportunity to potentially close this scoreline. Can they find the kills? The answer is yes. You get a 4-for-1 trade. You find Credence into the hill. 10 seconds left of time, and that at this stage is absolutely major. Just a margin of about 20 points between these 2 teams separating each other. Candor, they're going to chalk it up, head over towards
Swarm.
that P1 side. Watch out for Swarm, though. He's made his way onto their side of the map.
He just snuck his way right up into the back lines, and now he's starting to do a little bit of damage already into Cam, and he's going to be able to turn a few heads and at least stop the pressure from the hill. Clicks is able to deal with 1, and again, you're still chasing Swarm in your back lines right now. Now trying to influence the spawns as Buffalo's in for the time as well on P1.
So much map control to be gained here from Buffalo. You're going to need Candor to start maintaining these kills. You're going to need to look for them to potentially retake that map control. T trying to do the dirty work over towards that side of the map. Needs to have a heroic play. He's just not going to be able to get it to go, and UBuffalo's going to find the lead.
I mean, it's a lead change for the ages right now. Buffalo late into this map, and again, still with only 1 man on the hill. Candor still lurking around right now, but finally into this P1. Maybe able to take the lead back, but Spider, big plays towards the outside, but he's only able to find 1.
Candor, they're going to maintain the good side of this map. So even though the lead does shift, this is an opportunity still very much so for Candor to maintain their presence within this map and to close things out strong. Neither team is going to be able to necessarily win it off of this upcoming hill unless UBuffalo can get a very quick break early and often. But it's going to be 3 dead in the feed in favor of Candor. That should make things at least manageable and bring us to a P3.
And Gamersauce not going to be able to stay alive inside of the back lines. It's really going to slow things down for Buffalo here. It's going to have to be through the front. 1 kill comes through Spider, but again, all of this time going the way of Candor, creeping up on the lead shade of their own. Is FD able to find another one? 2 dead, and Buffalo waiting on the respawns here now. Quinn, Candor is just locked down this P2.
Another shift in the lead, but the kills matriculate in favor of UBuffalo, so hold on, wait a minute. As mixy as it gets at this stage of a Skyline hardpoint, UBuffalo now taking the lead. Candor, they can't give this up. This is 24 seconds of desperate time, and it calls for some desperate measures. They don't have a whole lot of creams over towards this hillside. You have to find a lane some way, somehow, and you already have Swarm working for these P3 side spawns as well. This is some masterful play from Buffalo at this stage of the map, Matt.
And I mean, Swarm with the early rotations onto this P3, and he's gone absolutely nuclear towards the side. Now everyone from Candor spawning out towards the P4 grass. UBuffalo has to be ready for it. Clicks the first line of offense, finds 1, not going to be able to find more than that, but again, damage might be done. 3-for-1 trade, now P has to wait.
Take the players out of mid. You have to make the pinch work here if you're Candor. Now approaching from the P2 side. Can you find the kills, though? Swarm's going to duck a dive and dodge, just maintaining his life in place. Waiting for the team to make the rotation on in. UBuffalo's in for the time.
They're in for the time, and Clicks has found the kills now from the front side. Candor Esports knocking on the door, but can't get past Clicks. Bybee with 1 more. The shots are in. The contest is in as well, but Clicks is good for 3. UBuffalo already running towards the finish here, Quinn. 4 seconds left. Candor trying to break on in. Contest for only a second, but you're not going to be able to get there in time. UBuffalo with the comeback of the ages.
What a play out of Buffalo. They show the ice. They bring it down to the wire. They take full control. Again, it's just the heads-up play from Swarm. He was doing everything throughout the entire duration of that map, but that rotation might have been his biggest play of the map. Just sets his team up for so much map control with the P3, knowing that you can't win it off of P2. Such a heads-up play. Completely gives UBuffalo the map, a map that at points it looked unwinnable.
I mean, you talked about Swarm in towards the beginning of that map. I mean, 37 and 24. He was going nuclear. 28 non-traded kills. this guy kept them in it through at least the first half of that map. And I mean, at one point you saw it there as we looked through this game flow, 153 to 115 around that score line, and you just saw Buffalo. It was those other players for the side of UBuff that started to activate clicks and gamer sauce that brought them back into this, helping Swarm out a little bit. That late lead change from P4 to P1, and it's just Buffalo running away with it towards the end.
Yeah, sometimes, hey, you can be a little bit cold. We talked about UBuff, right? They're coming off of that Game 5 versus George Mason University, a team that they were very favored over, and a team that maybe they shouldn't have gone to a Game 5 up against. They're able to ice it up down the stretch here, and you talk about the mental. Again, some teams, they're just going to come in, the mental is going to be hot. Felt like that was Canador. On the other side of the coin, some teams can hit that mental regain, and UBuffalo, the way that they were able to just maintain their cool. You look at when the game shifted, they didn't have a lead throughout the entire first 2 sets of rotations. They're able to regain it over towards that third P1. It's just the mental resilience that we just saw out of UBuffalo, and that's what makes good teams great, especially teams that are in this loser's bracket.
Yeah, and you have to look, especially, we talked about Swarm all throughout that game, but you mentioned mentals. When you're a guy like Swarm and you're looking at the kill feed and it's just like, guys, I'm getting every single kill, can I get some help? You look and you wonder what those comms were sounding like, because he just kept praying for his team, he kept making it mixy, you knew his team would eventually show up, and Quinn, it might have taken him 2 sets of rotations, but Buffalo able to lock in towards the end. And now, as we talked about confidence heading into this one, all the confidence having to be with UBuff right now.
Had us in the first 3 quarters, not gonna lie, but Canador, they're not able to get it to close. We go into the Hacienda S&D. I mean, we talked about it in the early stretch when we were looking at the mode records, right? UBuffalo across the board, seemingly the better team. You look at S&D, this outside of Control might be the closest margin that they have, though. Obviously, Control is tied. So this is their closest margin, where Canador is obviously the team that's on the lower end of things. 8-6 S&D record for Buffalo versus Canador 7-8. Got to see Canador be able to get back to the fundamentals, get back to the basics. We saw great things out of them in that hardpoint if they can maintain the gunny as well, which kind of fell off ever so slightly down the stretch. Regain that, get back to your fundamentals, recenter yourselves. This very well could at least go to a Game 4, it feels like.
Absolutely, and I mean, this has the feeling of one of those series that, like we just mentioned, could go to a Game 4, could go to a Game 5, and especially off what we saw Buffalo in their last series, where, again, they do sometimes let series kind of slip away, and there's games that could go either which way. And I think even that Skyline HP, kind of a pure example of that, where, I mean, Buffalo's down and out for a majority of that game and is able to kind of sneak away with it at the end. I think Condors can kind of bounce back here in this Hasi S&D if they can get a few rounds in the back pocket early and kind of just control the game from here on out. But again, Buffalo on the verge of going up 2-0, and it's going to be all on to the Canador side to kind of throw that off sort of.
Yeah, and I know we already kind of touched on it with the mental game, but I feel like at this stage in the CCL playoffs, when you're already in the loser's bracket, not just in the loser's bracket, but in the loser's bracket early, it becomes less about the gunny and more about, hey, how much mental resolve do you have? Obviously, the gunny is important, but when you don't have the mental, the gunny can kind of fall to the side at this stage, it feels like. And hey, UBuffalo, what they just showed there, the resilience that they showed, they have shown that they are battle tested. They have the opportunity here in this loser's bracket to make some noise. But the side of Canador, you're looking at this squad, you're saying, hey, what do you guys do when you get punched in the mouth? They're coming off of that 3-0 versus New Haven in this loser's bracket, coming into this first map where they had the lead throughout the majority of it. It just slips away. This is going to be a very telling S&D for this squad. Do they have the mental, which I feel like is what is going to be their defining factor? Or is UBuffalo just going to take what they just did there and make it a mental game down the stretch within this series with the momentum surely secured, at least after that first map?
Yeah, and I love what you touched there on about the mental of specifically the side of Canador, because, I mean, so many times, Quinn, I feel like a map like how you lost that map one, it either makes or breaks a team, right? It either just locks you in, you go, we should have won that map, let's lock in for these next 3 and let's absolutely put them in the dirt, or you're kind of just living in that map one, right? You're always going back to that map one, you're going, how did we lose that, man? Like, we shouldn't be down 0-1. That kind of trickles and snowballs its way into the S&D, and then you look up and you're down 2-0. So I think make or break time for the side of Canador here. I mean, obviously Buffalo, they have that mental resolve. They showed being able to bounce back even inside of a map that they looked like they had no business winning at the start. It's going to be interesting to see how they carry that into the S&D as well, because, I mean, even if you're up 4-2, even if you're up on that 5-3, you can never quite count this Buffalo squad out.
Yeah, and there's already been a clear blueprint on the broadcast here tonight. We talk about what we just saw with Korn and Narski with the Texas game versus Arizona. Arizona, They come out hot. They absolutely dominate on that first hard point. And then things start to kind of slip away because Texas doesn't say, hey, we're defined by a map 1. Hell no. They're not going to be defined by that map 1. Canador, coincidentally a team in red as well, has to do their best Texas A&M impression here. They have to come out, they have to make this S&D a dominant one, or at the very least show that mental grit, the resilience, and they have to showcase that they are here to play. Otherwise, again, with the map mode combos in mind, with the clear paper that we have for the series and how it should go, this is UBuffalo's opportunity to shine. We go into Hacienda for S&D. Bomb in the court of UBuffalo. Kick things off.
I'll be in the hands of Clicks as Swarm and company. Early play into the secret area and just a few shoulders and chows on out. This is early map control for the side of Swarm. He's been able to get very deep into the back lines as well with the bomb. Cam gonna have to go ahead and back on out. Still all 4 players standing. But a very interesting strat from Buffalo here early round 1.
Opportunity to center themselves over towards this A site. FD is going to back out over towards mid. So clearly here for UBuffalo, you have an opportunity to get the plant down. The question is whether they know that or not. Swarm will solidify that fact with the first blood on the board, and now the bomb going down. FD trying to retrace his thoughts. Surely not going to want to have given up that map position. You got to check your corners too. Oh, it's a breakdown early.
That's day 1, brother. You gotta check your corns, and that'll be 3 dead in the feed. Dark the last one up, finds one, not the second. And Buffalo up 1-0 and continuing to put the foot on the gas pedal a little bit here inside of the second map. And Quinn, I love the strat, just pure aggression right up into the secret area. And again, the early credence to get that bomb planted over towards the A site. Once that first blood comes through, it's all but GG's.
They just full sent it up mid too. I was almost at a point kind of thinking, are we doing strat roulette? Is that the strategy? We just go into the office, go into their spawns, go around the world strategy? I do love the aggression though out of UBuffalo. They're going to instill their will early. They want to maintain the momentum that they just created. That's one way to do it. Canador now though, bomb in their court. What can they do on this attacker side round themselves?
A couple players over towards that Wells side as well. Secret from FD here. He hasn't quite been spotted out. That's the first blood for Cam. A dip, a duck, and a dodge, and FD. He's just trying to play the shoulders and play the base around, but now has to back out himself with the first blood inside of the Panthers side.
Actually really like that play out of FT. He knows that they have the player personnel advantage, but for how long? Swarm making his way and making his presence known. Now working his way over towards you as well. Gets another for free. Oh my goodness, this man is all around the map, already on the 4 spree. But you have to get that defuse on the board. FD will be able to equalize things down to a 2v2 now. UBuffalo, they are swarming around this hill.
I mean, they just can't find Swarm. I mean, he's everywhere at once. He's in your back secret. He's down well. He's gotten 3. Can he find the ace? All onto FD. 20 seconds left. Again, you need the defuse, but it's Clicks that comes through. And off the back of the Swarm 3-piece, 5-0 RC car in the back pocket. As Buffalo up 2-0, and right now for Canador, you have to be questioning. You talked about the mental coming in. It was the big narrative that we brought into this map too, Quinn, and right now, definitely being tested for the boys in red.
I mean, bro, Swarm is that guy. Like,
you literally look like
now
shots.
I'm questioning, does he just have like the Halo invisibility cloak equipped? Like, is he just running around the map and they just can't see him? Because that would make more sense than whatever the hell is happening right now. They have to shut this man down. And the worrisome fact here for Canador is the fact that it's not just Swarm anymore, like what we saw in the early stretch of Skyline. You got Clicks, Gamer Sauce as well with a kill on the board, so it's not necessarily just Swarm. We've seen all these players stand up. They've got to get the bomb though, guys.
I mean, do we have to? Oh, okay. I mean,
maybe not. And Swarm might have a generational play.
I mean, they've already got the first blood in the back pocket, and look at Swarm. He's already sneaking his way along through the secret side. FD might be able to run right into him. Swarm finds the 6th in a row. 6-0, 2v2, Gamer Sauce. Oh, the turn and the burn, as now all down on to T. 1v2, and Quinn just not necessarily the position you'd love to see Canador in right now.
It should be a 1v2 going the other way. If you're dark, you're gonna want that one back, brother. UBuffalo, bomb in their court, full credence over towards this B side. All they have to do is hit that left foot, right foot express. T with the wrong read, staying over towards the A side. Just gonna make his job that much harder, as that bomb is going to be planted for UBuffalo. They can just bolster themselves up. For T, you're gonna need some clear timing.
You're gonna need some generational plays right now. Around through the back of office, as like you said, both of these players are just going to nestle themselves right on in tight towards this B site. And again, T just going to have the dirty work damage. He's going to have to find the kills, Quinn.
Ooh, play from the door. Quick entrance on in. Quickly sent 6 feet under UBuffalo. I mean, it's as customary as it gets for that hold. There's just not a whole lot that T can do. Again, would have needed some generational timing. Bomb working against him. He's on the other side of the map, so he loses about 15 seconds, making the trek all the way back. Tough spot to operate from. UBuffalo take full advantage.
And Swarm finds another one on the board. 7-0 right now, Quinn, through 3 rounds. I mean, they just can't stop him. They can't stop him.
He's him.
He is Timothy Charlemagne. That's what they call him. TB Swarm, also known as Shotzi. UBuffalo right now up 3-0.
I haven't seen him hit the Shotzi route yet, so I'm not entirely sure.
Not entirely yet? Hey, we'll have to wait and see. But UBuffalo, I mean, the foot firmly pressed on the gas pedal, looking to be pressed on the necks of the side of Canador. Already FD going to get backed out.
Swarm should have gotten some good information to work with here. If he didn't the first time, he absolutely did that time. 1-for-1 trade opens things up over towards this B side for Canador. Again, you still have to deal with Swarm. Working the back lines, though, is FD, and this could be the back-breaking play that you're looking for if you're Canador. Catches the spot onto Swarm, sends the spree. Comes down to a 2v2 now. Don't have the creams to get this bomb down. You have to deal with Gamer Sauce over towards the top office, and you do. Brings it down to the 1v2 now for Clicks.
And both of these players holding hands back towards this office side. You have the bomb in hand as well, so Canada Esports just has to make the right play. Click's going to back up to Secret here. Quick chow onto the A site, and once he gets the information that they're not there, he may be able to make a hit on over. He gets the timing of his life, finds 1 and 2. Clicks absolutely shuts it down, and UBuffalo go up 4-0. And that might have just been the dagger.
Oh, it's a breakdown from Canador. You can't let that happen. The double slide chow. You should win that every single time. Oh, but Clicks is clicking on another level. UBuffalo, we said they needed a second to the Swarm. It's Clicks. It's Clicks, brother.
And I mean, right now for the side of UBuffalo, we talked about it. Swarm was the one keeping them in the game. Once the rest of the supporting cast shows up, there's nothing that Canador can do. You get 1v2'd by Clicks. You're down 4-0. Swarm's already making his way over towards that B site. Nice again. T all on his lonesome. He gets taken down. It's a 1-for-1 trade. But again, the bomb making its way right into the B site.
You need Cam to get active early. You need to set up a pinch here if you're Canador. You just need to find something. Gonna delay the ball play at least for now, but the shot's being windy. Brings it down to a 3v2 with the bomb being planted on top of that as well. You will be able to equalize the player personnel advantage and setting up a pinch here. Hold on, wait a minute.
Still have to win the gunfights though, Quinn, and that's been the issue up toward this point. FD, a couple of shoulders in on a round. Swarm gets taken out. This is a big position here. FD shouldn't be on the kill, but he doesn't. Now into the 1v1. Dark able to find the trade. And things, they bend, but they do not break, Quinn, as they get ever so mixy. And Dark able to find the last chow, able to find the defuse, and able to find Canador their first round on the board.
And there's a heartbeat for Canador. You needed it there. You absolutely needed it there. You find it from Dark. Able to get the 1v2 down. Now for UBuffalo, I mean, it's just about getting their foot back on the gas pedal. For Canador, you have to start a generational run here. We've talked about it from the side of UBuffalo. They have been doing generational plays. Canador is going to need a lot more than that.
Yeah, they're going to need a comeback for the ages here, Quinn. And again, we talked about it from that map 1. It's a lot of teams make or break moments. And right now for the side of Canador Esports, seemingly a heartbreaking moment and a mental shattering moment as well. Still, like you said, a heartbeat, a little lifeline for the side of Canador. FD already going to be backed on out by the shots and the nades. But T, early in action here, be able to find the first blood and maybe be able to get a little bit active.
He's taking space on the map.
Oh, I love that.
Another kill matriculating their way. That Swarm out of the equation as well. Click's still alive, though, and he is absolutely going to make them pay. As you said, the bomb being taken out of the play there. Canador has to be able to recover that at some point. You still have the player personnel advantage, though. Players on the other side of the map here for UBuffalo. Just trying to work this pinch potentially.
Right now, with that bomb trying to be recollected, you see all 3 of these players from Canada Esports kind of solidified by themselves, but FD makes a Chalon out, and Gamer Sauce will send him on down. Now into the 2v2, things even right back up, but Chow is up and over. Ooh, Gamer Sauce almost gets away with it, but Clicks should have a free one here, able to find the kill, able to drop the bomb one more time. Now it's into the 1v1. T has to get that bomb.
This is tough for T. Clicks can just play around this bomb. He can just center his play, but we're doing
a little bit
around the rosy through
play.
Secret. T just working his way over towards this bomb. But if he collects the bomb, he's just going to run into the waiting irons of Clix. I love this setup for Clix.
He doesn't have time. He doesn't have time, Quinn. There's only 9 seconds left. He doesn't have time. He's going to have to be the chow on out, or he's just going to get cut out planning. 4 seconds left. Not enough time to plant. Clix just has to run away. And Clix not going to play it perfectly. He's not a speedy man whatsoever. He takes a stroll down mid, and he's just not able to get away in time. T on the rechow and a speedy man in himself.
Word to season, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that's
I thought he
not
got
a
away.
speedy man.
I thought he got away. He was running at 1 mile an hour, brother. What happened?
Blame the devs. That's the movement debuffs that we just saw come into the patch notes there. Nonetheless, a round that UBuffalo surely gonna want back. Might be the lane here for Canador to find their way back into this. A little bit of momentum, and we can see what this team can do with a little bit of momentum. You've been punched in the face endlessly. Is this the response that we've been waiting for?
Oh, and I love the aggression here. Canador playing with a little bit more confidence will be able to get out with their lives here. First blood in their pockets as well. And all of the sudden, 3v3 as Dan Spider will equalize, but Canador doing well here in this round.
Kind of have UBuffalo boxed in ever so slightly. You got the rap play being developed from Dark, but it's a perfect read from Dan Spider. Then T goes down in mid, and how quickly the cards can completely fall apart. You get the bomb carrier down, but if you're FD, you're still in the 1v2. You're getting shots laid into you. And again, just a tough spot ensues here if you are FD. Information being gained, bomb being picked back up. UBuffalo has a lot of ways that they can play this one, Matt.
Yeah, and I love how they're going to do this as well. They know kind of his area of positioning. They just get completely away from him, get that bomb planted over the B side. FD's made his way quickly here, and now with the information coming through as well, he's made his way towards this back office side. What's he going to be able to do now, though, as he jumps up and around through mid? Maybe the wrap here, Quinn, but he may elect to hit through Rock. It'll have to be the Rock Chow now.
30 seconds left on the board. Just have to play your chow. Not going to be able to get the angle to go. Just so little you can do through that door. We've seen it happen a couple of times now for Canador, where the door just has not been their friend. And UBuffalo take another round on the board, recenter themselves, as that really hadn't left the driver's seat, but definitely surely placed in it. Map point now for them.
Yeah, and just a few heartbeats out of the side of Canador, but again, with that 4-0 lead that UBuffalo built up through the early stages of this map, I mean, it was just going to be so difficult for Canador to be able to put those consistent rounds back to back to back to back. Now you're going to need 4 of them in a row if you're on the side of the Panthers. For UBuffalo, as you mentioned, map point here, looking to go up 2-0 in the series, and with a definitive factor here inside of the S&D, as Buffalo has played it perfectly so far.
It feels like, again, this S&D could be the backbreaker within this series. It puts Canador up against the wall. They're going to have to give it their all, and T be able to center for that first kill. Not going to be able to get the second one, though. Equalizes us down once again to a 3v3. Quick bomb plant, though, from Canador is going to give them an opportunity to center themselves around this play. UBuffalo trying to find their lane on in. You have to watch out for the player in secret. Going to deal with him. 2v3 now.
Oh, and Dark, it does find the chow onto Spider. Does even things up into a 2v2. You have information onto one of these players. As Cam finds another. He will be traded out, but now into the 1v1. Swarm doesn't know that there's a player right around the corner. They play ring around the Rosie, and Canador able to win it. Keeps themselves alive here inside of the map too. 3-5. Still a lot of work to do, but a little bit of life shown once again. And Dark making plays here inside of map 2.
You believe in curses, Matt? 5-3 curse potentially in the cards here. If you're Canador, you're hoping that curses are a thing. If you're UBuffalo, you're just trying to stay on task, finish the job here. I mean, it's just such a good plays from these boys. It's so evened out. 9-4, 8-7, 9-5 from UBuffalo. Everybody putting in the work, putting in the hours. Canador, gotta be able to pick it up here and now.
5-3. Map point for Buffalo as it on the offensive side. It looks to be early pressure here with that RCXD being utilized. Dark's going to have to get on out with his life, and he able to find his play. It's a 3 down the feed. And all of a sudden, Canador Esports, you have one player go out by the Rocket League strap, but other than that, it's all on to Clicks. We've seen the 1v2. Now for the 1v3, and it would be for the map. And Canador, though, a big round on the cards if they're able to get this one.
Potentially. Opportunity, a lane back into this map. For Clicks. We've seen him make the 1v2 clutch. Bomb in hand, can he make the 1v3? Might run into a problem here. He doesn't check his angles. Tags on him, but not the kill. Hold on, wait a minute. The nade is just not going to be able to do a whole lot there. A little bit of a panic. He will be dropped. 1v3 is not going to go through, and UBuffalo, you're still in control. But for how long is the question? Canada, or they're not going to go away without a fight.
I mean, you're 1 round away from sending this to a round 11. And Quinn, you talk about this as well. It was just the early stages of this map, too, where UBuffalo was just dominating at every single turn. I mean, Quinn, this was once a 4-0 lead for the side of Buffalo on a 4-1 run now for the side of the Panthers. Canada Esports looking to bring it to that ultimatum, to that round 11. They've got to get this round 10 first.
First building blocks have been set. Are they building with blocks or cards, though, is the question. UBuffalo, so much aggression over towards his rock side, and it might pay off. The positioning is there, but the kills are not going to be there. A 2-for-1 trade. Open things up for Canada. Bomb collected over towards his B side. You're still not feeling fully comfortable because you know there is presence from that nade that Gamer just threw. Now clicks on the outskirts of this play as well. He could blow everything up from the door side. Again, the bomb is taken down. A little bit of dimension being gained here for UBuffalo in the 2v2.
Yeah, now you're going to have both these players split on Chow's, one from back office, one from mid. When do they elect to pinch? It's going to be T that goes ahead and Chow's out. He does gain the information. T again, now getting double information onto these players. So Canada Esports knows exactly where they sit inside of this map. UBuffalo just waiting for the reach house, but look at the play from Canador. They perfectly hit the wrap on out, and Quinn, this may be the play.
So much time. If you're Canador,
what are we doing?
You play straight into the irons and clicks with the shots for one. Not going to be able to get the second, but that's the information that you need. If you're FT, you have no clue where Gamer is. Gamer knows everything. He knows all. Will that be enough? 18 seconds left. The wrap play is coming through the plant in the nick of time, but Gamer is there to call the game. UBuffalo go up 2-0.
Oh, and you're just going to watch that one back in the VOD room, and you're going to kick yourself if you're on the side of Canada Esports. I mean, Quinn, they make the perfect play to get out of the B side. I'm thinking they're going to wrap around the back. They're going to go over to A. They're going to get the bomb planted, reset up the 2v2. Instead, they chow up to office right into the irons. You get the trade to turn it into a 1v1, and then just timing on the plant. Canada Esports not going to be able to complete the comeback inside of map 2, and now for Buffalo, you're up 2-0. Your foot continues to be on the gas pedal. As you look at the breakdown here, Quinn, I mean, UBuffalo, it was a great start, 4-0 up. Canada starts creeping their way back on into the game. But again, that 4-0 early lead just allowed for Buffalo so many chances to just close this one out, and they're able to do so in the round 10.
I mean, we talked about in map 1, the Swarm Masterclass. That was a Clicks Masterclass. Even within that last round, getting that trade, it gives Gamer all of the information that he needs to work with in that play. Canador doesn't know where the play is going to be, where that last player is. It just puts them in such a tough spot. You even see the plant trying to go down because he has that little information to work with. I mean, it's just everything out of Clicks. You go back to the 1v2 as well. That definitely turned the tides and just set them in the course of UBuffalo, now up 2-0 in the series, as you said, partner, and go into this vault control where Canador needs the reverse sweep if they want to keep their college Call of Duty hopes alive for 2025. So much on the line.
Yeah, and just a huge comeback inside of that map 1. Obviously a dominant start to that map 2. Confidence, momentum, everything swinging the way of UBuffalo after that Hacienda search and destroy. As you mentioned though, Quinn, vault control up next. Yeah. Canador has showed that they can compete in the gunny. They have showed that they can compete inside of every single game mode. How do they respond? How do they react down 2-0? Their CCL in season hopes on the line.
Yeah, well, season hope on the line. You gotta play like the best, dude. You need this reverse sweep, and if you want to play like the best, Matt, work with me here. You have to play with the best. It's the Scuff Controller, exclusive partner of College Call of Duty, and if you're Canador, you are hoping that you got all 4 players equipped with this. If you don't, just head to scuff.co/college COD. Dominate the competition with the brand new Valor Pro. Scuff, the exclusive controller partner of College COD, and I know a fan favorite between Matt and I. That's scuff.co/college COD. You gotta have the Scuff controller if you want to get back into this one. I think that's just a prerequisite.
It's absolutely. I mean, I think that's just the game-changing factor right now for the side of Canada Esports. Obviously, Buffalo has had their Scuffs locked, cocked, and ready to rock all series long. But look, heading into this map 3, Quinn, vault control all down onto this for the side of Canada Esports. Obviously, Buffalo showing us what they can do. They can come back from a bad start in the start of a map and a hard point. They can absolutely dominate the start of an S&D, ice it out towards the end. What's it going to look like when we head in towards this vault control?
Man, if you are Canador. We talked about the mental, right? Heading into that map number 2. That was really what I feel like where you needed to make your mental statement. You had to show the resilience. You had to showcase, hey, we are here and we are here to play. You really are going to look back on that Hacienda S&D within this series and say, we obviously wanted that to go our way. The mental resolve that you have to show at this point within the series, Matt, you never want to have to sell your series hopes on a control, let alone a vault control, where things are just going to move so fast, and you already see this UBuff team moving at mock speed, running straight at you. This just feels like a pure playground for players like Swarm, like Clicks. Just get active early. And hey, it could very well be the same thing as the Skyline Hardpoint, where they just down the stretch are able to showcase their mighty waves on this vault control.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're on the side of Canada Esports, you've now had 2 just heartbreaking losses, right, Quinn? You're up for 2 full sets of rotations inside of the Skyline before that lead slips away from you, and eventually the map slips away as well. And then you're down 4-0 inside of the Hacienda S&D. You battle your way back to 5-4. You're in a 1v1 away from sending it to around 11, and you're just not able to do it. And Quinn, no matter which way you slice it, no matter how close those first 2 maps are, you're down 2-0 in the series. Your backs are against the wall, and Quinn, they've got to give it more than their all. They've got to give it everything right now. Down 2-0. Let's get into it, gentlemen.
Starting off on the attacker side, Canador with the opportunity to set the pace here for UBuffalo. It's the opportunity to instill their will. Do that early. Middle presence immediately gained for Canador, and I love what T is doing, trying to make the Rat play ever so slightly, work his way over towards the B side of the map as well, create some information overload.
It's gonna be Gamer Sauce that fights right back with 2 of his own, maybe a third! Lights up the feed blue, shuts down all of the pressure from Canador, and now they can start forcing their issue into the spawns here. A couple players for Canador are starting to hit this outer B stretch, and now onto the B site. But again, it's gonna be early presence right back from Buffalo.
Just trying to play the ping pong game if you are Canador here. Keep them going back and forth until you can finally make them break, but nobody is gonna break Gamer Sauce. Oh my goodness, he's stacking the kills now. 5 spree on the board. It just feels like everybody on UBuffalo has their map that they are just looking absolutely crispy on. Canador, in the meantime, they're going to make their way over towards this A side. They're going to find some justifiable kills in the middle portion of the map as well, potentially on the cards to gain that second tick of progress.
There's not a huge life disparity right now. It's only a 3 life spread between these 2 teams. Canador, though, just has to make sure that they don't get kind of trapped back in their spawn. They do have this third tick of progress starting to be solidified, but with 2-piece coming in through T, not going to be able to find any more than that as Spider and Swarm fly in, shut the pressure down, and Quinn, now only 49 seconds left on the clock.
Good mitigation here for UBuffalo as well, maintaining that kill department. For Canador, you really don't have any map control to work with here at this stage of the map. 40 seconds left to work with for you. Trying to gain a little bit of credence over towards that cat side. You just have the lockdown play at every single corner here, it feels like, from UBuffalo. Trying to as well have number 4, that's Dark, working over towards the outskirts of the map, over towards the top side, trying to gain a little bit of credence over towards B. There's not a whole lot necessarily going the way of Canador until they're able to find their way over towards A, but still the contestation in mind. They're going to be able to find the kills, though, so hold on, wait a minute.
Hold on, that's the A side done and dusted. The extra minute on the clock, and again, you're already over towards the B side. Pressure there shut down, only for the moment, though, as Canador Esports now heading on the reset. 2 lives down here, Quinn. Very doable inside of this first round.
You're going to have Dark again. We talked about him earlier. He was making the work over towards that B side. He sets things up for his team with a very quick and immediate rotation. Now for UBuffalo, you have to find a lane on in. It's just going to be pure brute force, it looks like, though. Gamer Sauce has anything to say about it, which he absolutely does. You wipe the players off of the hill. That is full solidification here for UBuffalo. You do lose out ever so slightly in the kill department. You're still maintaining the lead, but it's not necessarily as big a lead as you once saw. But you are solidified over towards B for now.
And now for the side of Canador. You're down 2 lives, 55 seconds left on the clock. You just have to find a way to break through this defense, as Buffalo just trying to hold on here for this last couple of seconds here, Quinn. 45 left on the clock. How do they set this up, and how do they elect to hold?
Have the opportunity to play for the kills as well, which they are doing, and then some. 6 playing 10 now. UBuffalo having the opportunity to bolster themselves over towards this B side. Canador just trying to find a lane, trying to find any motion they possibly can, but every single step of the way they are running into irons. Gamer Sauce Boss, again, picking up in this new life. 10 and 5 to start things off on the Vault Hardpoint. Vault Control, excuse me, as he just continues to be the defining X factor for his squad.
And it's just now no respawns remaining for the side of Canador. And again, as you mentioned, Gamer Sauce Boss is absolutely saucing on him right now. No respawns remaining, now down to 3 lives, so you just gotta find a way in, maybe get 1 more tick, but it's just not gonna happen, Quinn. 2 lives remaining, 1 life remaining, and soon to be none. and soon to be no seconds left either as FD finally makes his way on in, finds one, finds two. A little bit of consolation prizes there inside of that round, but Quinn, 4 ticks inside of that first round. That's not a bad showing for the side of Canador Esports, especially if they can parlay it with a very dominant defensive round to follow.
It's a good start. Good building blocks there. Again, not necessarily the round win, but if you can keep UBuffalo contained, you look like the better team on this vault control. That is the question mark, though. Can you keep UBuffalo contained? At certain points, it just feels like the Gunny is starting to outweigh what Canador can do in their ability to keep up. Again, you have players all across the board activating. First map, it was Swarm. Second map, it was Clicks. Now it's Gamer Sauce Boss 69. Absolutely love the gamer tag, by the way. Let's kick it into round number 2. It's the Tide's turn.
Canador Esports now on the defensive spread. Now, oh my God!
Ooh.
Oh my God! Kobe Bryant in the building, 3-piece down from absolute Narnia. I don't even know where he yoinked that from. He yeeted that.
Dude, set nade of the century. That gives Canador the full crease to push their way into the spawns. Now they can play bully ball. That is an insane setup, breaking their way. That might be the greatest break off of all time. You're never seeing anything like that on Vault Control ever again. UBuffalo trying to work against the odds now. They don't get the credence over towards A early, so it's going to be a tall task up ahead for them to recenter themselves. Canador taking full advantage.
I mean, you have to. It's another 3 dead in the feed. You do have one player in Clicks trying to make his way along through the back lines. Maybe try to shut this spawn trap around from the outside. He's only good for 1 as his teammates continue to fall. 26-18 on the life department. Already 29 seconds left on the clock. Gamer Sauce Boss able to find 1, but again, you can just kind of battle your way out of this spawn trap. It was the set nade of the century, Quinn.
Yeah, if you're UBuffalo, 18 seconds left, you haven't touched a hill. You're just getting absolutely ran through by Canador. There's just nothing that you really have a response for. 25 playing 15. It feels like even if you can take one of these hills miraculously, the life disparity being where it is at this stage of the round is just going to be the defining factor. Can you get a last-ditch effort on in? No, that might be the first round of control you will ever see where a team just doesn't touch the hill at all.
I think that might have been the greatest defensive round I've seen inside of the CCL.
Oh, we get to see
here we
it.
go.
Oh my God.
Here we go. I mean,
This
he
is
just...
nasty.
Oh, no way.
That's
oh my...
ridiculous,
I
brother.
mean, that guy is Steph Curry. That guy actually gave his controller to Steph Curry to line that up. That is one of the greatest nades I've ever seen. Yeah, take that to your ranked play game, Buffalo. All right, 1-1. Canador Esports showing a heartbeat, showing some life. And Quinn, after a 4-tick captured first offensive round and one of the most dominating defensive second follow-ups you will see, a lot of pressure on Buffalo Esports right now.
To say the very least, UBuffalo, I mean, you have to show up here, and now you win out in the trade battle, at least early. But Canador is going to take that and say, you know what? We're going to hit over towards the B side. You think we're going A? Nah. We're going to keep you on your toes. That's exactly what they need to be doing at this stage.
Shots, though, in from Dan Spider. Good, as it's another 2 dead in the feed from Buffalo. Immediately, though, traded right back on the side for Canador. And now, 2-for-2 trade, and not a lot of presence towards either one of the hills yet. Just trying to kind of matriculate the kills their way. Tested hill for now. FD will go down, and for the side of Canador, even though it's a good break, you still have mixy kills going either which way. It's Buffalo controlling the battles.
We saw this before. You just have to do the damage where it can be dealt. If you're Canador, obviously the attacking side on any control map, it's going to be a little bit difficult. You finally gain credence over towards that A side. You find a couple of kills as well to push UBuffalo back. Opportunity if you can get the players to center their way on in to potentially stack here, but Clicks from that bottom side looking to wreak some havoc. From the outskirts as well, UBuffalo trying to find their lane back on in. But it's information overload on either side, at least for the time being.
It's only 1 tick, though, captured over towards that A site. So now you put it at 5 ticks locked in. It would have to be an absolutely incredible one from Buffalo next round if they want to elect for that last round defense. But again, Quinn, still a lot to be done here potentially for Canador. Round through the vault, able to find trades. That's 2 dead in the feed. Now onto the B site. But again, Dan Spider, kind of the lone player with that Buffalo side. He's locking down this B side. Second tick on the A. Can they lock it in here, Quinn? Canador Esports, big from him, but it's a little whack-a-mole strategy from Dan Spider, who hasn't been the loudest player in this series, but starting to activate a little bit here in this map 3.
You need it. I mean, at this stage for UBuffalo, with the way the attacking side round went, you can't let Canador collect another second of time on the board, because even with one more tick, they secure a defensive round mathematically over here. We're towards the B side. Dark just bobbing, weaving, shutting things down. T will eventually be able to get the refrag to go. Still not that second tick of progress over towards B, but it will be found over towards A. So regardless of how this shakes out, Canador going to maintain that defensive round if we do go to that round number 5, but they're trying to trace their way over towards B and end this one early.
Absolutely, and I mean, you only need 2 ticks more. You got a minute 25, and again, you have players starting to matriculate their way towards mid. That's a big 2-piece from Dark to open things up. Gamersaw's boss out towards the outside. Dark absolutely knows it. He's on the hunt. He's on the chow. 3 dead in the feed, all from Dark.
Now, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Now, if you're UBuffalo, trying to find the lane on in, back from the vault, you will find it. Will be Swarm to be able to get things shut down for the moment. 7 playing 10 here as well, so UBuffalo with another opportunity to bolster with the life advantage as well being the maintained factor. Just have to be able to play within your life and play it well.
They get the second tick locked in though, Quinn, so now only needing that 1 tick of progress, but now the problem being Swarm in your top trophy and in your backlines, able to be that nuisance. Pressure though up towards B is 2 dead in the feed.
Gotta go.
Now all of a sudden you have to get back towards the hill if you're Buffalo.
And I don't think they can touch. I don't think they can touch. You shut down clicks and you're going to find the round here for Canador.
Oh my god.
On the attacking side, they get it done. The nade from heaven has sparked lightning in a bottle, it seems, Matt.
And now on the verge. Back on the defensive side, Quinn. This sets them up perfectly to close out this map 3 in a dominant fashion. Hit into that map 4 with a little bit of moxie. And Quinn as well, we've seen how they've played inside of the hardpoint game mode. They have what it takes to win, just that first map slipping away from them ever so slightly. Canador trying to come off the back of the, just one of the greatest nades I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I almost want to spectate Dark here just to see if he does it again. I'm a little, I want to see what Buffalo decides to do. I think they might be nervous a little bit here. Do you go, oh, he's going to throw it again.
I wish it was like Counter-Strike where we could follow the nades.
Oh my god.
That would be so sick. Okay, so here for Canador, right? Even if you lose this round, you get another get another defensive side. So if you're Canador, again, you're just wanting to win it here and now. You're able to shut down UBuffalo early, push them back into those spawns. You still have Dan Spider trying to work the back lines, give at least a little bit of dimension for UBuffalo to work with here, but none to be found at least quite yet.
Right now, Swarm able to find the nade, but trade's going either which way, but they're going to be able to fight your way out of the spawn trap, trying to get your way onto the A site, but again, just having to deal with the absolute barrage of Canador players as they continue to just battle off the pressure. Quinn, Buffalo immediately getting sent back to the spawns. Dan Spider, he snuck his way through the backlines, but again, with his teammates continuing to drop, he's not able to do a lot in these backlines.
He'll be shut down as well. So now for UBuffalo, you only have Koreans over towards the bottom side of the map. You just haven't been able to touch on for any time on these attacking side rounds. Disastrous times, and you're going to need to find something to the tune of a 3-kill set nade if you want to get back into this if you're UBuffalo. 20 seconds left to work with here, Matt, as they try and find at least some Koreans over towards A. None to be found, though, as Canador continuing to find the kills.
And I mean, they just look absolutely shocked on the map right now. I mean, Buffalo looks a little bit lost as Canador just really running amok around on the side of this vault control. 4 seconds left. You're on towards the B site. Timer top for now. But again, Buffalo, you don't have a lot of credence, you don't have a lot of pressure, and you don't have anyone now on either of these sites. The time will run out, and Buffalo will drop down as Canador able to lock in 3 straight rounds in a row after a 3-piece nade from Dark. And now, we will find our first map 4 for you and I, Quinn.
Let's go!
Can you believe it?
The nade heard around the world.
Let's go, Dark.
Brings
Let's go,
Matt
baby.
and Colorblind to a game 4 on the CCL stream, baby.
We broke the curse. We broke the curse.
I mean, again, like, you talk about a momentum shifter. UBuffalo just wasn't expecting that. I mean, they were feeling so good through the first 2 maps, through the first round of that map even. From that point forward, Dark, he just changes everything. Canador starts clicking on every single cylinder that you possibly could, Matt. And now we have a game.
We've got an absolute series on our hands right now. With the way that Canador is able to play inside of that vault control, you bring them into another hard point, and they look to make good on the mistakes of the past. Again, Quinn, reverse sweep still needed. It still needs to be 2 straight maps, but this is the best we've seen Canador play within this series. And now you look at it, Hacienda Hardpoint up next, and a wild way to get there, Quinn. But now looking onto it, potentially map 5 in the distance.
Chat, do you believe in miracles? Canador
Come on.
might have just found the start to it to keep their CCL hopes alive. Loser goes home in losers round 2. Canador, get the first building block going. Opportunity here presents itself as you go to the Hacienda hardpoint. We saw how they started on the Skyline hardpoint too, Matt. If they can bring that same moxie but sustain it down the stretch, this is very, very potentially going to a game 5.
I mean, you look at how they lost those first 2 maps, and I mean, it was very winnable for them. Obviously, the big lead inside of that map 1, and then even heading into the map 2, you're down 4-0 at the start of that. You go on an absolute run, and you're just 1v1 away from getting it to around 11. So, I mean, if you're on the side of Canada Esports, you have to be looking at this and going, guys, look, we made a few mistakes in the first 2 maps. We absolutely smoked them 3 rounds in a row inside of that control. We're here. We are back. And they have life inside of the Canador camp right now. I'd love to be able to hear the comps right now because I feel like you just have to be getting yourselves a little bit hyped up right now, and you have to feel like you're able to take this one away.
2 words: mental resilience. We're not ever late. We're just early.
Come on. Come on.
We're going to go into map number 4 after a quick break, folks. Do not go anywhere. We have a series, and both of these teams, hopes and dreams on the line for the CCL 2025 season. We'll see you after it. Well, folks, we have a series on our hands. Start things off, Buffalo. They were looking real good through those first 2 maps. They stack them on the board, but Canador off the most insane set nade you will ever see, by the way. If you missed it, go back and watch it. Have brought us to a Hacienda hardpoint, a game 4 with potential to go to a game 5. Matt, let's get after it.
Let's get after it. Let's get after it, partner. Map 4 again. CCL hopes on the line for the side of Canada Esports, but they could force a map 5 right here, right now as we get into the action early. First blood already for the side of Cam to open things up into this Hacienda hardpoint.
Back and forth, early blows, just trying to suss each other out. Go back to the Skyline hardpoint. Things started off fast for the side of Canador as they maintained most of the control through the first 2 sets of rotations, but things started to slip away ever so slightly when UBuffalo was able to work their way back. They were always in that rear view mirror. Those are always closer than they appear. So far, so good for Canador as they'll find those early kills, maintain that P2 side, and get a couple of seconds on the board themselves. Again, looking to start fast.
Weird gunfight coming up here for T. It's not going to work out for him as Buffalo. Early rotations here towards this P2 side. A couple of kills to go their way as well. And now, trying to set up control here. You still have T that's laying around inside of the back lines as the rest of the pressure going to have to come through the front for the side of Canador.
Well, one gunfight, how quickly the tables can turn so early on as UBuffalo able to center themselves in with the E2 rotation. Now looking for the justifiable kills, but they won't be found from the front side and the back side. FD&T combining for 3. Canador break their way on in.
Multiple stack here inside of this P2. Spider opens things up for the side of Buffalo, trying to make the break on in through the front. It is Swarm, but a couple of kills go the way of the side of Canador, and now for Swarm, just has to be one-dimensional, has to be alone, and he's not going to be able to find the kills to go as Canador continues to lock down for this P2 and continues to soak up this time. Buffalo now has to kind of reward their losses here, Twin. Do they want to hit this? Do they want to move towards that P3 side? One more hit in, and it's not going to work out.
Yeah, 3 dead in the feed. Canador will be able to secure at least 13 seconds of scrap. And this is kind of what we saw from UBuffalo again on the Skyline hardpoint. They were always quick to those rotations, but they weren't able to necessarily hold through that first wave. That's really where Canador found their lane on in and found that early lead. Canador able to do that once again off of that P2. Now starting the late rotation over towards P3, which is going to allow UBuffalo to collect a couple seconds of time, but here comes the break attempt.
Couple kills go their way, and already onto the hill they will go. Spider with a turn and burn for the ages, and now Canador tasked with the re-break on in. Immediate pressure from the well side as the nades come over the top and will be able to be good for 1. T finds another with the gunny, and now trying to break into this hills. The 3-for-1 trade is good, but Gamer Sauce Boss all on his lonesome, able to stay alive, able to fight, able to scrap, and able to keep his team in this hill. Again, the trades come through, and Buffalo locks in.
Continuous pressure, though, from Canador. They're going to have hit 2 Electric Boogaloo loading right up, and I don't think UBuffalo is necessarily expecting it to be this quick. They'll be able to mitigate that pressure nonetheless, though. Once again, bringing the knife to a gunfight is not the play to go, but when you get a 3-for-1 trade, you'll solidify 13 seconds of scrap. So nearly a full 60 on the board there for Buffalo they will find. Already the quick rotation as well. Swarm making his way over towards that top rock side, looking to get active early, cement the presence there for UBuffalo's. Dan Spider now collapsing on in himself. 3-for-1 trade will solidify the rotation for UBuffalo.
And huge towards this Money Hill P4. Canador now all coming through this kind of split side here. You see 2 from the front, 2 from the back. How are they able to add dimension to the hit? Can they find the kills to justify? Big tags in from Gamer Sauces. It is Buffalo with the 3-piece in the feed. And they will shut that push down immediately from the side of Canador.
Here comes Canador once again, though, trying to work their way from the car side. Very low dimension hit, and UBuffalo with the opportunity to read their way straight through it. Contestion on in, but the first kill will swing the way of Canador. Immediately equalized out, and then some as Gamer Sauce. Boss 69. Find 2. The rest of his teammates will find the rest. 4 dead in the feed. Canador again on the reset here. UBuffalo, they're starting to look real continuously sustainable on these hardpoint hills.
No, absolutely, and you saw it from Canador there. It was the one-man chow. He finds that first kill to open up the hill, and then it's the 3 players from UBuff that shut everything down and locked that hill in. A fully solidified lead now for the side of UBuff here, heading into the second set of rotations. Canador has their work cut out for him here as they try to make the comeback happen throughout this second set.
Buffalo just lurking around the outskirts of this middle play. They have the opportunity to at least play a little bit of this hill time for the map control in return. But Canador, they're making this P1 a little bit of a money hill. First 20 seconds will swing their way. Gets them ever so close to getting back into the mix of this. But here comes UBuffalo. Back onto the hill they will go. They'll find some justifiable kills to at least knock Canador off of the time for now. Also maintain these P2 side spawns with 27 seconds left.
This has been a huge P1 for the side of Canador. I mean, you're down almost 50 seconds here heading into this second set. You've made a big dent in that lead. Buffalo trying to get in for a little bit of this scrap time as well as trying to solidify themselves over towards the P2 side. Multiple players, though, laying in wait for the side of Canador here, ready for the pressure of this new hard point. Are they able to hold? And Quinn, if so, they could be at themselves right back in the lead.
This time, just got to make sure you're not caught mid-reload. Canador has the opportunity to bolster, but the kill's just not going to swing their way. Sea of Blue once again will flood the feed, and they will flood their way onto this P2 hill with opportunity to further sustain is UBuffalo. Locking things down now, Canador tasked with yet another break as the lead starts to bellow ever so slightly for UBuffalo early on.
Yeah, and I mean, Canador has the early rotation onto that side, just not able to deal with the pressure from Buffalo, and now having to deal with the pressure of finding the re-break on in. But already the 2-for-2 trade not going to go their way. Cam does flood his way into the back lines, but with all of this time going the way of UBuffalo, and as you mentioned, the lead just ever so extending, Canador now with the pressure on their shoulders.
Canador, they're able to make the break on in, though. They're finding the justifiable kills for 20 seconds left on the board. But again, UBuffalo can just use this time. They don't necessarily need this scrap. They can start the early rotation that we know them for over towards P3. Instead, you're going to send Swarm in on a solo mission just to contest as much of the time as he possibly can to prevent Canador from getting it. They'll do exactly that. UBuffalo, not necessarily going to have the early rotation here, but you do have Clicks who nearly centers for 2. Secure it nonetheless. It will be Canador.
Big 1v1 though, now ensuing as Buffalo's able to win it. A lot of plat pressure though from the side of Canador as they're just trying to lay the shots down from the top side, but it's a 3 dead in the feed from the side of Buffalo that completely bats that pressure out. And now for the side of Canador, everyone coming from that back 10 side.
Canador just trying to find a lane once again. It is a sea of blue in the feed is Buffalo. Now surely starting to run away with this one at this stage of the map. Canador coming from the other side of the map now as they've been ping-ponged back and forth, and they're just trying to find some sort of reprieve. Another set nade over the top, but it's not going to be enough to mitigate Swarm's gunny. This man is activated once again. 21 and 11 riding the 5 spree.
And he's already got sprees going all over the map right now. He's just continuing to fly around, and right now for the side of Buffalo, that lead is now grown to almost 90 points here heading into this P4, which they had such a good showing on last time. Swarm, the first one here, he could shut everything down for Canador. He's taken out, and Canador does have the rotations on. They have to hold, and they desperately need the time.
Just trying to do his best swarm impression now. The lone player over towards the hill on the solo mission, waiting for the reinforcements to come in from the other side. He's able to get his one. That gives an opportunity for UBuffalo to try and collapse on in, but they're not going to find the justifiable kills on the outskirts of this play. Instead, it will be an opportunity for Canador to try and lock things down, but this is actually what the streaks are for. Dan Spider calls it in, gives the lane for UBuffalo to find their way on in. They should pass the 200-point barrier, just need 50 more.
And now Dark has to chow on in. He walking all this time, just slip away. Finds one, finds two. Can he find the third? Not going to be able to do so. It's a mixy barrage of kills, but Dan Spider is able to line it up for the last, and that'll be the time continuing to tick away in favor of the boys in blue. Canador has to hit the rebreak, has to fly their way back on in, but right into the gunny. Again, the team nail coming through from Canador, and now Buffalo could be the dagger there inside of P4, now able to win it off of P1.
Now the desperate times, you gotta play it perfectly from this point forward if you are Canador all the time, going the way of UBuffalo as well, off of that P4. Early rotation over towards the P1 side as well. Dark, only player that can really find a lane on in, does have some top support being provided now from T, who rotates his way on in from the rock, able to cut the players off of the time. UBuffalo, though, they can play the next couple of hills and still very easily put this one away. Canador needing it to be picture perfect, Matt.
And they're finding kills all around the map, and so far it has been, but again, you talked about it, Buffalo has so much time left to be able to just close this one out. And again, multiple kills coming their way, and again, making their way onto this P1, now only needing 15 seconds left. Canador trying to find the rebreak on in, realizing that their CCL hopes could be gone right now.
They're losing so much time. On top of it as well, Dan Spider lines up two, now turning for the other two that are coming from the other side of the map. It's a pincher play that causes the end of Canador's season. Late contestation on in, but it should very well be found here. UBuffalo just needing 3 seconds left. We will go to P2, which is exactly where they're set up for the win.
And Canador has to find a break. It has to be right now. Divine Intervention, though, is clicked, is able to get taken out of the play. A car explosion allows Canador to make their way into P2 again. Buffalo, the rebreak, only needing 3 seconds, but the kills still going red in the feed.
Again, it might be too little too late here if you are Canador. You're finding the kills on the outskirts of the play now for UBuffalo. An opportunity to present itself down through the door and down through the car side. Again, this could be the downfall for Canador. The last chip has fallen, and UBuffalo is going to take this map, this series, advance their way in through the CCL losers bracket for Canador. It's a valiant effort, but you're going home.
Going home, and your 2025 season in the CCL has ended, but Canador, you ended on at least a little bit of a fighting note, right, Quinn? They're down 2 on the series. They're able to at least extend it to this map, but just a little too much to handle from the side of Buffalo as every player being activated. Dan Spider showing up to the party as well. And for the side of Buffalo, you slay them off of the map. 27-17 out of Spider, 26-17 out of Swarm.
Yeah.
And the boys get it done, 250-152 in a 3-1 series score.
Again, coming into this, they had it on paper. Canador does definitely give them a run for their money, especially on that vault control, which we will be talking about for a very long time. But we'll also be talking about this Hacienda hardpoint for a very long time. From P3 onwards, it was UBuffalo's game. Canador just not having a whole lot to say past that point. And again, that's just when the gunny gets active. And we saw it across the board. Every single player seemingly having their own map. That map was Dan Spider's map. That man was absolutely frying. He finds that streak as well that continues to open things up, keeps Canador's late push to get back in completely snuffed out. It's going to close their season out. For UBuffalo, though, you continue your opportunity. You continue to make your run through the Northeast region in the losers bracket.
Yeah, and I mean, Quinn, they're having mixy series, but you know what they're also doing is winning. They just continue finding a way to put these series in the bag, no matter if it goes 5, if it goes 4, if it goes 3. Buffalo's still coming out on top. And again, when you're in the losers bracket, that's what matters the most, Quinn. They don't ask how you did it. They ask how many are you winning. And right now, for the side of UBuffalo, they continue their campaign through this CCL regional playoff.
And to be very fair to them as well, in the winners bracket, they had to play Fisher.
Yeah.
That's just a death wish right there.
Yeah.
So you're getting the good work done. As you said, you're winning the games that you need to, no matter how you need to win them. It's a Game 5 win over George Mason. A Game 4 win here tonight over the Canador Panthers to send both of those teams home, keep their hopes alive, and move them on within this bracket, Matt.
Yeah, and I mean, you talked about it at the top of the show. It's mental resilience. We've seen these guys fight back. We've seen these guys hold on to a lead. We've seen them ice up, and we've seen them absolutely, completely slay out in that last map when they needed to close the series out, when they realized that Canador was starting to build the momentum. They absolutely just poured the water on the fire, and that was it for the side of Canador for their CCL season and in this losers bracket. But I mean, Quinn, you run into this Buffalo team inside of the losers bracket. I mean, this is a team that is grimy. This is a team that just figures out how to win games, no matter if they're down, if they're up. They're always able to figure out a way to win.
And honestly, that's a team that is going to scare you a lot more within the losers bracket, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the teams that are just going to go 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. It's the teams that can get punched in the face and say, nah, bro, like, we're better than that, you know? It's the teams that have the mental resilience. It's the teams that rebound when all is said and done that are going to go the furthest in the playoff side of things. We're going to follow UBuffalo down here in the losers bracket as they continue their season. But for how long is the question?
But, I mean, Quinn, no better time than CCL playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. That will be it for the official broadcast tonight. But again, tomorrow, we kick it right back off, Quinn. We're going to do Saturday, Sunday. We've got playoffs happening all weekend long.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Talking about playoffs.
We are talking about playoffs in the CCL, baby. It's a great night. Love being joined in the booth by the Mat Man as always. Appreciate you guys in the chat as well. W Production as well. Huge shout out as well to all the casters that were seen before us, folks. That is going to do it for the broadcast here tonight. Join us tomorrow, though, bright and early for more CCL playoffs. Playoffs.